Sure. My name is Bruno Sainz. I'm a principal investigator of the cancer stem cells and fibroinflammatory microenvironment group here at the Sols-Morreale Biomedicine Research Institute. It's a CSIC Institute here in Madrid, Spain. I'm also the group leader of the Biomarkers and Personalized Approach to Cancer group, which is also known as BioPAC, and that's at the Ramón y Cajal Health Research Institute, also here in Madrid, Spain. And my relationship with pancreatic cancer is that our research group is a research group that primarily focuses on pancreatic cancer. Our goal is to cure pancreatic cancer by targeting or inhibiting a subpopulation of cells within the tumor known as cancer stem cells. And we also want to target the cells that surround the cancer stem cells. Primarily, we joined PCE, our groups in general, because of the benefits that we've received from PCE. It's an international front united against pancreatic cancer, which is not something very common in individual countries. So at an international level, it's quite beneficial. Also, it has the ability to bring researchers together with common focus, research interest, goals. And I also think that it makes our voice as a research community that works on pancreatic cancer much stronger and unified. And that way we can better influence policy-making decisions, both in Spain and at the international level. And it's particularly focused on helping pancreatic cancer patients. So I think on two levels: one, research level, unifying researchers, common interests, and also making our voice louder, unified and stronger for policy-making decisions, which I think PCE is a fantastic platform for that, which is why we joined. Yeah. Excellent. We've made many collaborations with other members. We've also, with other members, have sent, because of this network and because of our ability to identify other people with common research interests, we've been able to submit projects, some European projects in particular. We're still waiting to see whether or not they get funded, but we've been able to create networks, consortiums, building upon PCE and create or facilitate the creation of these consortiums to apply for these projects. Also, we've had fantastic experience at the level of funding for mobility. In fact, we'll be hosting a student, Giovanna Agandudaki, from Agapi Kataki's lab in Greece. We'll be hosting her. She comes next Monday, and we'll be hosting her for 3 weeks. She was awarded the PCE Travel Award. So in that sense, also, it's fantastic because we'll be able to share with her and with her laboratory, share our experiences, our know-how, transfer of expertise and knowledge, also across our labs and also across Europe and across countries. Obstacles and challenges. I think primarily there are two. One is our lack of diagnosis. It's very difficult to diagnose this devastating disease at very early times, especially at possibly curable stages. So we really need to better our capacity to detect, both in the clinic and the laboratory, this disease at early stages. And for that, we need better detection methods, and we need more improved biomarkers. You find many publications in the literature about biomarkers that help detect pancreatic cancer at early stages, but very few, if any, of these biomarkers really have translated to the clinic. So we really need to push forward or the translation of these biomarkers to the clinic. One thing is what we do in the laboratory, another thing is what we do in the hospital, and we really need to implement these biomarkers not only at the national level but also at the international level, such that detection is unified across countries and hospitals. So I think that's one of our major challenges. Our second major challenge, obviously, is treatment. Without a doubt, we desperately need more effective treatment for patients, especially with advanced stage disease. These are the patients that we really are seeing in the clinic. The majority of patients already present with advanced stage disease, and their treatment options are unfortunately very limited. Mortality rates are still too high, and unlike other cancers, we really haven't made improvements as far as our repertoire of therapies that we can offer patients, not just to cure them, which would be the best case scenario, but also to have sustained disease, something that we achieve in other types of cancers, but in pancreatic cancer, as you know, therapies are very limited, and the therapies that we do offer patients only extend life for a very short period of time. So we will really, this I think is one of also our major challenges is to develop more precise, more specific, more potent therapies.
Mm-hmm.
I think unifying our efforts and transfer of expertise and knowledge. We find ourselves in situations where we are not experts in X, but we are experts in Y. And so why reinvent the wheel and try to become an expert in X when within PCE we can find experts that can help us move the our scientific endeavors forward. Likewise, PCE as our voice will make pancreatic cancer more visible as far as policy making efforts, which will then hopefully translate into a more conscious effort from governments to invest money and resources in pancreatic cancer research, which will then funnel back into the research and improve our efforts and capacities to work on these challenges that I just mentioned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, undoubtedly, and this is actually something quite interesting. If you look at, while we have not advanced in improving overall survival, if you look at the amount of research and publications on pancreatic cancer, it's amazing. The amount of investment that both researchers, industry, and institutes and hospitals are making in the pancreatic cancer field. So we have come a long way as far as understanding the biology behind pancreatic cancer, and the models and the systems that are available. It's amazing the mouse models and the in vitro systems that we have to study pancreatic cancer. So I think in that sense, we've made a lot of advancements. I think we're also making advancements in immunotherapy. Now, it's beginning to show some potential in pancreatic cancer. Obviously, it's not used in the clinic to treat pancreatic cancer patients. But I think in the last 2 or 3 years, we've seen that immunotherapy, when handled the correct way or tweaked to a certain level, can have some promising results in pancreatic cancer. So I really hope that the immunotherapy field will move forward and we'll be able to translate immunotherapy to the patient, which I think will be tremendous. And in my laboratory in particular, we are making some incredible advances in treating pancreatic cancer in mice with the different models that we have in the laboratory, which will really nicely reflect and mimic the human disease. We're making tremendous advancements in attacking and treating pancreatic cancer by really modulating the metabolism of cancer stem cells in pancreatic cancer. So we have a very promising lead compound, which we patented, and now we're trying to advance to clinical trials with this compound, which obviously has its difficulties as far as funding and whatnot. But we're really excited with this compound, and we really believe that attacking the metabolism of pancreatic cancer stem cells in pancreatic cancer can be beneficial for the patient. So we hope in years to come that this could possibly translate into a first-in-human clinical trial. Sure. I mean, we work a lot with patients in the hospital. We have a lot of contact, and what I always tell them is that they should never forget or always remember that there are thousands of researchers all across the world doing everything they can possible to better understand pancreatic cancer and develop new therapies. While we would like our advances to move much faster, they shouldn't forget that there is a tremendous scientific community behind them, trying to do everything possible to help cure their disease.
That sounds very
helpful. So don't give up. We are here, and we are very conscious of their suffering, and we are very conscious of the advancements that we could possibly would like to make.